when you are ready to let go of outdated modes of thinking, that's when you're going to find benefits. Oh, and also the when you're ready to do emotions. So that means emotional stuff coming up. So that means your 0 1 year old. You want to claim your 0 1 year old just in case anybody who's new. So let me share. Professionals. We're all great at what we do when we care. And so the woo woo spiritual pseudoscience lady here, yes, between the content and mentorship. So that's where consulting comes in. It's helpful and there's benefits, but only if you want to do emotions. If you want to call it laundry, you're going to be like, that's a pseudoscience bullshit self help crap lady. Oh, yeah. And she's a woo woo spiritual. She's a person who's bad spirituality people. You 5D mystics, bad. We don't like you. You're talking about all these things of us being overflowing with humanity. Yeah. Okay. So, my point is the benefits of anything is going to depend on you. If you are with the right allowing yourself to, oh, I got emotions. I'm going to be accountable. I'm going to be aware and I'm going to self regulate. Yep. Yes, I am. Oh, look, I got thoughts. Okay. So when you use your mind wisely, it's because you know the mind keeps account and the body keeps a score. So you use your mind and your body. And that's why that's somatics right here. And the somatics is part of good therapy with child parts for those who need that. And that's so you can collaborate with the self of you. The self of you, you have the, what is it called? Core self. Then you have the narrative self, the relational self, and you have the solo self. And I'm all of those. And no shame button. And so here's where you will have acknowledged that the shame button is for people who basically allow their Cuscos. They're an adaptive child. So they don't let go of old models of thinking. They're the ones who say, how dare you tell me that mysticism doesn't involve me believing that it's demons coming out of the sky or the earth because of volcanoes coming up. That's because true spirituality is a life of meaning and connection beyond the solo self, and true mysticism in 5D plane are people who know that, well, let's see, consciousness, Akash, heaven in the sky, essence of love and life, God, all of that, which is part of faith, Jesus, Buddha, bring them all in. It's all one and in the same. It's smart people, stable, mature, adaptive, rational, teachable, with smart faces, flexible, adaptive, coherent, energized, stable brains. It's because integration of the brain is what allows your left to chit chatter, the verbal part of our brain, and the right, which is the first part of the brain that's online, your first year of life. Yeah, I know, right? I find it hard to believe that my first year, means everything. So you can get out of using your safety behavior, brainstem stuff. Attach, cry, collapse, submit, please, appease. Flight, fight, freeze, flop, drop. Yes, humans are not broken. Nobody needs to reclaim their power in the way that the 4D and 3D are doing. Okay, we're a collaborative group. Okay, so benefits are for those who want their feminine intuition and their emotional evolution to expand. So it's called mental and emotional intelligence if you want to make it sound fancy. That's why there are benefits to self help if you want to be yourself, motivated to be emotionally and mentally yourself. Obviously, you don't have to. The 0 1 year old, like the Billy Joel song, lost someone, lost something sacred that I would have never lost. Yes, your 0 1 year old didn't plan on getting not consistently, contingently communicated that it's great that you're alive. So to get secure attachment, 1/3 attunement, repairing ruptures. And if by the age of 3 you don't have that, you're going to have shame, which is why we have men, women, and days prancing around with human beings who basically also still have shame, but we leave it alone. And so they're the same ones who pick on professionals such as myself. And that's because of, they're spiritual bypassers. I get it. I see the shamans and the tarot card readers who tell people not to go to therapy. I say, why are you doing that? That's ridiculous. Do you know the benefits of therapy? I do. It helps a person to get the good psych education. Then they can start a journey of mindset. And that's because that's what they're going to work with. It's come in to work with narrative and relational and solo and core self. And let's get out of the shame because you're not yucky. And you don't deserve to be in hell with this torn apart gut wrench feeling that you will drink, fuck, and then do drugs and hyper activities and all this stuff, maladaptive child behavior. You don't have to stay with that behavior that isn't healthy and also that doesn't do anything Because if we can't express or aren't expressing our true feelings, it's not going to be a genuine relationship. Ron Siegel, thank you. Also, let's use this. Hold on a minute. Where are you? I got some other quotes. This one, Ron Siegel. When we bury feelings, we bury them alive. We wind up living with a heart and mind that are filled with landmines easily triggered when we go through the world. So people who are burying, okay, they don't build genuine relationships. They also will continue doing those activities. So you heal trauma, one, with your awareness and your lens. You get to work with your lens and know, oh, so this is what black and white thinking and split thinking are. Okay, I got it. Hey, crew of people, this is what I have. This is what's going on. So if anything happens, just tell me. I'm trying to address it. So I want and welcome your feedback all the time, not just sometimes. So I am aware. Once you get this self lens, that's when, with your self-awareness, of course, accountability and regulation, you say, hey, healthy self-worth people. If you don't have healthy self-worth, you'll figure it out if you have a good therapist. Alan Shore, PhD, trauma does not only lead to dysregulation, it also disrupts the emotional distance with other human beings. Okay, so people who are dysregulated, that's because, thank you, Bezel, most trauma we see in our offices is interpersonal trauma. It occurs in the context of attachment relationships. We also have our lovely Pat Ogden. Traumatized individuals often have trouble regulating by themselves, but they also have trouble seeking others and taking in the support and regulation of others. So your woo-woo spiritual pseudoscience life coach here and content creator and all of the words that I'm going to keep on using because they're all applicable, but I'm a mystic who takes serious when I'm channeling, and that's for my mystics, obviously. Here's where Ron Siegel again. Oh, and some of us, we don't have past hurts in this way, FYI. We have past emotions. Hurt to me is if something falls on my hand. Although I do know that the brain pain is the same circuit. So emotional pain or physical pain. I learned that neuroscientifically, but I can tell you that for me, Maria, there's a difference. Bring me all the emotional stuff you want. Don't bring me, if you start coming at me and you got a rock, I'm going to run away. If it looks like you're going to hit me with it, oh, I don't care if you're joking. Oh, I'm leaving. If you start to try and make me uncomfortable, if you don't tell me that you're joking, I'm going to leave. And I'm going to be the serious person who's not going to come back. And that's because I have integrity. Yes, and you didn't uphold my moral principle of don't pretend that you're doing anything. I told you I'm a scaredy cat. You're making fun of me means I'm leaving. I'm a teenager who's a grown-up who's not going to give a shit about what you say afterwards. I'm done. I'm closing. But not in a way of blocking you. No, I'm just going to say an arm's length so I have enough time to run away from you because I don't trust. So people learn that I don't know how to take a joke. But not because it's personal. It's because I don't actively know how to joke. Nobody has an... I'm laughing because people laugh about this. I laugh about it too. Nobody has an objective view. All of our views of reality are based on the accumulation of past experiences most influenced by past hurts. So this one's interesting because those of us who have the usage of our prefrontal cortex is not, like I said, past hurts, but we do have past events that take place. And at the same time, they don't affect what we're going to think about love. Love can solve problems. Compassion can solve problems. And above all, sense can solve problems. Yes. Okay. So when you are ready to be yourself, you're going to find self-help and personal development really helpful and supportive of this. Life is rooted in reality, not in your thoughts and emotions. You're going to know that they're not irrefutable facts, and you're going to keep moving more and more towards your prefrontal cortex. And you're going to know this too. Everyone seems to know everything about the world through the internet. But no one knows anything about life. Not true, Sadhguru. We have some people who know about life like this. There is oneness in existence and uniqueness in all beings. The essence of spirituality is to recognize and enjoy this, which we always have. And there's also a part of if you want to take charge of your destiny, the first step is to take charge of your own body and mind, which is why trauma is important to note. Then there's the part of fact that we are each part of each other. So when you are mystic, you understand that the uniqueness we offer is the capacity to choose how to build a relationship. Okay? And that's why professionals who know this, they will welcome working with all professionals. And they will, in fact, be supportive of all their colleagues. And then they will be supportive of empowering you with the capacity to understand that you will be the person who notices if a person that you want to work with cares. You know why? Because they're going to go out of their way to give you as much information as possible to let you know how it can be helpful without asking you for anything in return. But they're not going to be a facade that's going to treat you like you're a kid who needs them, as if you will die without them. So any professional who makes it basically into an in group, you'll notice it, versus one who's trying to support based on their area, obviously, of expertise. And the area of expertise, those who have an ear, because they are not falling in love with their eyes, like the Rumi quote goes, and so they are using their heart, which is why they know if somebody is using their heart, they will know the sacred thing they lost when they understand what trauma is. Then they will know I can reclaim my inner and outer well being because humans are not broken. I am not broken. I can get out of what is a shame cycle and this gut wrench, and I can actually stop burying my feelings with fucking drinking, drugging, and any other of that stuff that happens. And I'm going to be motivated, and I'm going to fall back, but with healthy self worth people, I'm going to be told, hey, what's going on here? You told me you were doing better. What's this? Come on, what do we need to do? Okay, so keeping each other in the line of health, we all do that together when we care, which is why, again, professionals, they are a lot of things, and there's the ones who are like a sales pitch, which is why, as an online marketer, I'm not fond of that. You don't need to be a sales pitch. Obviously, you're going to get eyes of people in certain ways, but if you're treating people like a object, to me it means that you care primarily about the money. That might not be true, but there are ways for you, again, to allow people to discover you. That's the whole point of what online marketing began to share with anyone who began to do it right, is that they get to know you. We also know what vanity metrics are. You know what I know about vanity metrics? I met jocks and cheerleaders and all of that cool stuff as a adolescent. Yes, it was not something that impressed me. They have their unique area of expertise. So do the nerds, so do the unpopular, so do the popular, meaning nobody fears inadequacy when you have no shame button. Okay, so again, the eyes don't see, the ears hear, and the heart is open, and there's an embodied brain. So when someone has low self esteem, by the way, you'll notice it because of how they vibe. And they're not negative. It's called they have low self esteem. It's something you'll be like, hey, you're good. What's up? Now, when they're grandiosity, meaning that they act as if, so that's a double insecure person because they have the insecure bubble and then they have a bubble that protects it. And so that bubble, if you poke at it, it'll become that angry squirrel from Cusco land, and then it'll justify itself. But a person will still be able to become aware of themselves if they're wanting to embrace their true spirituality, their 1-year-old. Because they're going to say, you know what? I think I was reactive. No, I know I was reactive. My thoughts and emotions are not irrefutable facts. Why did I get this way? And I want to keep on growing the relationship. So I'm going to come back in and repair and chit chat. And so the part about what people get to do together, again, healthy self-worth people, we support each other. When you are part of the woo spiritual community, welcome aboard. We're 5D mystics here at IHP. Self-help, personal development, that's the inner growth mindset that we get to use. And as for all of that pseudoscience, it's because, again, we work with people who are in the research labs, who bring to us the data, the qualitative, the quantitative. Nobody's spelling out any lists. So people who give you I know everything, you're going to know who they are. They've packaged it all in a certain way. When you are trying to support people to be their self, knowing that it means that you want to do emotions and thoughts, that's why my best comment was our naysayer when he shared with us at IHP on Instagram that it's pseudoscience, bullshit, and self-help crap. I said it's pseudoscience and self-help. It's just not bullshit crap for the people who want to do the inner growth mindset. And that's because they want to let go of old models of thinking and they want to discover their emotional depth, the feminine of their own, and do all this great gooey ooey stuff and get to their 1-year-old and 2-year-old and 3-year-old and then bring forth all of this. And so the inner well-being, you know what it is? It's called I have no fear of inadequacy. There's a door you can leave I also have no shame, so I will talk to you in your face and I won't talk to you behind your back. I'll tell you in outer well being when you tell me, wow, you're an Akashic record reader. What else? Polyamory? I think you're an evil bitch witch. Fair and square. So shall I go? Because I'm okay with that. Were you trying to tell me something helpful? I don't know. That didn't sound like helpful. It sounded like you used words with me. I didn't know you thought your words mattered like this based on my lifestyle. I didn't ask you to live my life. I don't know where you're coming. Oh, no, I do know. Are you in cognitive dissonance? Maybe structural dissociation. Who's your ruler? Who's your master? Yeah, tell me that. Subject matter experts, excuse me. I'm so sorry. Who's the ones that you look up to? I'm pretty sure I can tell who they are by the moment you start speaking to me. So it's not a title that makes a person, meaning the benefits. You get the benefits from personal development and woo-woo spiritualness and self-help because you actively understand what it means to be human. You have attachment trauma. We got a buttload of information in the last 3 years, which has enabled me to explain even better how I can help you and how I love to create the content that shares with you who I am, because that's the part, not vanity metrics. Vanity metrics are bullshit. They're vanity for those who are vain. Does anybody know what vanity and vain mean? It equates low self-esteem human beings. Do you know what low self-esteem means? Shall I go one more round so that I can explain to you how the deeper layer of this torn apart thing won't go away unless you address it? Oh, and there's a great Dr. Daniel Fox is his name. He talks all about the numbness and emptiness and apathy of the group of borderline and how going and seeking anger, or this anger that comes up that seems to fill it, and then hyperactive, hypervigilant, I forget what he uses, but there's a way that that numbness and void it tries to get filled until you understand the lens, and then okay, that's a maladaptive pattern, because the anger that arises and me seeking that, trying to again fill the void and fill the emptiness, or when I'm in deep despair, it's a pattern that you can cut. So what happens when we are cutting a pattern, a habit that is not healthy for us? You get to put into the practice, okay? So here's why people say self-help, I don't want to do it, or personal development is crap. It's because of the consistency of doing emotions in your lifetime. And true spirituality and spirituality awakening, any guidance, you want to know what it is, you want to move into your wholeness, you keep doing emotions. Enlightenment Soul Age Group, it's awesome. So if you're curious, Enlightenment the Human Way is AKA the restorative embodiment self you, integrated brain. Your host is right here. And you feel gooey, ooey, ooey. So you have your 1-year-old. And we support all people like Pacha does with Cuscos and squirrels and you name it. But those are also people who are letting go of old modes and models of thinking. So they're not there's demons or monsters somewhere. They don't insult people who have psychopathy, sociopathy, narcissism. They don't insult parents who didn't have the capacity to do a great job because they had trauma too. They don't insult. We don't insult. We don't stigmatize. We don't insult. You know why? They're humans, and there's attachment trauma educators all over the place. I don't enjoy ignorance. I'm not an ignorant person. I'm stupid. I can be ignorant of certain topics. I'm not ignorant on you being yourself. I'm not ignorant on the attachment and trauma systems and stuff like that. I might confuse, though, how I speak about it a lot, and words. That for sure is why I'm the woo-woo spiritual pseudoscience lady. But I know how you can get home to yourself if you want to. And that's why it's not about the title. Again, there's plenty of bad therapists out there who I see them flocking YouTube. Oh, you should see what comes out of their mouth. They got the creds. They got the vanity. Oh, they even present to you. That's the part. So presentation is the number one thing that I like. Colors I like to present in informal ways. And you'll notice that those who are authentic, yeah, they're not trying to look exactly like the TV. Oh man, okay, I'm gonna go now because otherwise I'm gonna keep on talking about something else. So side notes. Anyways, thank you for stopping by. If you would like, share, and subscribe. If you want to find out about the one-to-one mentorship and about the masterclass, let me know. I'm also going to, at a certain point, get our lovely online courses all set up. So Meantime, there will be a certain number of people for the masterclass and also one-to-one, so limited spots. So if you're interested at any point, again, email. You'll find my email anywhere, but you can also reach out on anywhere. Thank you again. Have a wonderful day.